welcome. Feedback stream number 16. A good number, and I'm glad you guys are here. If you want, submit your track right now for live feedback. I'm going to go over mixing, mastering, how dope it is, how cool it is. You know, let's see what we got going on here. We got about 15 submissions right now. And the first submission is from someone new. Let's go ahead and check it out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More of these coming soon and more tutorials coming soon. We about to go in 2023 all day. First submission is from Cyrilli. A little idea about bass music, bass. Let's get it. Welcome, everyone. Let's go. Okay. We can run that back. Let's go. Ooh, first submission coming in hot. Oh, damn. All right, so that was awesome. First off, it was really loud. I actually had this JST clip playing. Let's just make sure that we can check the loudness real quick. Perfect. All right, so we're pulling in -2 LUFS. Very loud. It's clean loudness. If I wanted to, I could keep turning it up on my interface and get some clean gain, which is important. Now, the width is very wide. You can see there's information all the way left, all the way right, and in the middle. It's super heavy. It sounds clean, so that's what we like. Honestly, this is really good. There should be a buildup, though, you know, that would add a lot more tension, and then releasing that tension on the drop is what really makes these songs amazing. But as soon as you get that buildup in here, it's going to be heavy. You got good use of dynamics here. You see from loud to quiet. No fake outs. And then this new color base, like flavor that you add to this second is just so nice. Still heavy, still melodic, super cool. I like this a lot, honestly. Small little idea, work in progress, but this is the stuff I like to see. Cool little ideas, mixed clean, mixed well. I would proceed forward with this because this is just a vibe, you know? Good vibe. Great first submission. Let's go. Up next, we got Scarpy with the Slaughterhouse version 3 work in progress. Oh, let's get it.
You can't just slaughter people because they mess with your hogs. Now we're in a heap of trouble. I buy you a new drum bump and cleaver for your birthday. This is how you repay me? Sometimes you really piss me off.
Boom, 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 boom. Jesus Christ. Scarpidon. Scarpidon woke up and chose violence today. Slaughterhouse version 3 work in progress. It's hitting. This is hitting hard, man. Alright, first off, you're loud enough, -3 lefts. Beautiful, perfect. You're wide enough. Man, I was looking at, look at the stereo image here. So you guys can see, like, there's a lot of information in mono, which is perfect. That's what we want. But then we also have all of our information spread out. You see all the red up here. And it's spreading. So we have a really nice stereo image, and it's clean. Very nice to hear. Overall, the call and response is beautiful. The song arrangement's nice. There's a really good transition between phrases. You're switching the flows and the dynamics with the bass. It's interesting all the way through. Very, very heavy. If you play this at the festival, it would get people going crazy. It would make people feel crazy. You know, it's like a psychedelic type of heavy. This is some new shit that I don't usually hear, and it's very clean and laid out very well. The only thing I think it needs to be like 100% perfect and professional is like all this space. It's very empty. You could simply add a nice vocal, maybe resample a vocal, do something unique, have a nice, deep, dark, heavy, loud vocal.
You can't just slaughter people.
This is a cool sample here. But you can use the vocals, because this resampling is more like a cool effect, but you can kind of use the vocals to add energy and add feeling and emotion to match the dark drop that you have. So I would experiment with that. After you do that, dude, it's a home run, man. This is heavy. It's already heavy as is, you know, and as a DJ, we just be playing the drop. So it's basically good, but I'm just saying, if you want to go that extra mile, that's what I would recommend. Otherwise, beautiful. Very good. Up next, we got Attica. It's actually Merc-Ins and Attica Noise. I believe I said that correct. Let's go ahead and get down. Nice. I'm gonna go back to the first drop real quick. Hell yeah, this is sick. All right, cool. So this is definitely loud enough. We're pulling in like -4, 9, -5. That's honestly loud enough. You don't have to get it to -3. This is definitely okay. You can, audibly hear that it is loud enough. So that's good. If I wanted to, I could also turn it up on my interface for clean gain, which is important. Now this second drop has a lot more energy. It's a lot faster. This first drop is more like Trampa vibes, where it's boom, boom, just like crazy rhythm. Now this is cool. The only thing I would fix in this is your use of space and depth. And what I mean by that is how much reverb is being used, because there's a lot of reverb being used on multiple different basses and multiple different things, and you can tell that they're clashing with each other. And I would really start to look at all the reverbs that are playing and, kind of turn some off, only leave a couple of on, and then create your space that you want to hear. Because right now it sounds not muddy with like low mids. It's muddy with reverb. So make sure that you're just controlling the space so that all these basses have room to breathe, because the space is kind of crowding the main lead and you can't hear it as well. So definitely want to make sure you fix some of that. That is important. Otherwise, this is a really nice idea. Very sick sound design, heavy basses. Good energy right here. It's just the vocal that you're using, that you're looping, is very generic. I would definitely try to choose a different vocal that adds energy and doesn't sound like has been used so many times as well. Also, pitching down vocals, maybe like -7 semitones, like down a fifth, would be really helpful and make it sound darker. I would do that too. And then in these sections, just start. There's a lot of high basses, like high frequency basses playing. So just go from back to forth, high to mid, high to low, and kind of go back and forth in the frequency ranges to, keep the listener engaged. Because over time, if you just keep hearing the same bass, it starts to get a little old. But otherwise, man, this is fire. Very heavy. Merkins and Attica with noise. It's called noise. Noise. That is definitely noise. That's good noise. Very good noise. Up next, we have Spicy. And Spicy is from Spicy. Spicy made a song called, should I say it? Cut Your Dick. Lightroom and Bound Submission. Let's just get down with the get down.
I'm gonna cut your dick! I'm gonna
damn.
cut your dick!
Oh, damn. That's sussy. That's trippy, boy. Ooh.
I'm gonna cut your dick! I'm gonna cut your dick!
That is spicy with the, oh, what is that? oh, sick. That's spicy with his submission. Cacho D. And I must say, not too shabby. So if we look, we're pulling in about -5. We have some width here. But there are some things that I think need to be fixed. But I do want to say, when you are playing the bass with the sustain, it's just hard. It's probably the hardest part of the track right here. You know what I'm saying? This part, this is good. When you get to this section, you start adding more basses to it. And there's a frequency buildup that starts to become ear piercing and it hurts the ears. So I would really be careful with adding all these extra high frequency basses, and you know, they're really loud at this point. So you want to just turn things down, use EQ, start carving out some frequencies and making sure things blend well. In this next section, when the sustain's playing, everything's a lot more balanced. The frequencies are balanced. It's easier on the ear. The main lead also pitches down as well, which it doesn't sound as loud as well compared to that. The sub 2, it seems really high pitch. I know it's pitch bending, but the way it's pitch bending and how high it is and the type of sub you're using makes it feel like you can't feel the sub in your chest, but you can only hear it. And you want to make sure that you can have both happening. You want to be able to feel it in your chest, so when you're at the club, you go crazy. And you also want to be able to hear it, because there's a lot of good mid frequencies and low mid frequencies that we want to impress the people with. So definitely look into your sub, make sure that it's on point. And then in this section, breakdown with the cool like melody. You have the bass filtered in the background, it's playing, but it sounds really offbeat, off time. I know you can like get creative and start putting things off beat and stuff like that, but you have to be careful when you're doing that, because you could shift it too much and then it starts to not sound good anymore. So just make sure you look into that, fix the timing, make sure that it's really good, because the way it is like this, it makes you not want to keep dancing. There's two rhythms being played basically, so it's like, oh, what do I dance to, this one or this one? So make sure you fix those things. Otherwise, spicy. Solid submission. Honestly, I don't know if the title name is the best decision and the resampling of like what he's saying, but do whatever you want, bro. You got this. Next, we got the Forza Horizon type beat. Wait, what? Forza Horizon type beat. My basics snare Forza Horizon type beat. Hey, wife, I wonder why it's so bad. I literally made it in a single day. So there's my excuse. We got a 1 day submission. Run it. Push it pretty hard. Drumming, drumming, this is my oh my god, this is my all the rhythm, what the how's that cheese, how about I got the Obama jelly, I'm a fun long boom, now this is pretty dope, honestly, but there's like no sub. Listen. I got a nice fat respace, but there's like no low frequencies. And basically just cut the lows of your respace because we don't need those lows. Those are weak sub lows. Cut them, add your own separate sub, pump that boy. We need fat sub to be matched with that respace, basically playing the same exact notes. And then, God, the energy would be good because the drums sound nice, you know. Very nice drum and bass drums. That yoinker, that thing sounds like weak, or maybe like pitch it down an octave or do something with it to make it sound darker, you know? It sounds too happy. And then, yeah, if you add a vocal to all this, basically the song would be done and amazing. Good vibes, man. If you made that in a day, dude, you can do anything you set your mind to. Amazing. Next, we have Opposition. And this is going to be from Hyper Invasion. Let's get it. Now, I must say, those strings are pretty sick. Good vibes with the strings. It's a good idea, you know, but the actual drop is lacking heaviness or lacking low end. The sub is pretty weak. It's not like high in amplitude, so we can't really feel it as much as we should. You know, this is bass music, so your main focus should really be your low end, the sub, and dialing all those frequencies down, and then slowly transitioning to your mid basses, your high frequencies, because when you're at the club, you want to be able to just go crazy at the festivals when there's 12 subwoofers lined up in front of you. You want those to be fully activated and going crazy. So make sure you get your low end perfect. And for your mid basses, you want to layer those with other mid bass sounds and then start to EQ to start building up a new sound that's heavy, loud, and thick, but also clean at the same time. Because of the EQs, you're carving out frequencies. So I recommend that. That's going to make it sound a lot cleaner. Now let's go ahead and listen right here. I want you guys to also see the use of dynamics. See how we're going from like loud to quiet. This is really good. Now, the problem is like there's not much call and response, right? You do good with like having a fake out. So there's no drums playing. This is a fake out. Now, the thing is the fake out goes on for a very long time. The timing is not perfect. So you just want to make sure you use like reference tracks, other songs that you've heard that have fake outs, see how long their fake outs are. And then you'll see another song has a longer type of fake out. There's like 8-bar fake outs, 4-bar fake outs. So you can experiment, but you want to make sure that they're on time so that when the drop comes, it's going to be on the perfect downbeat. Instead of working on all these fake outs, you really want to focus on call and response. So making a sound play on the downbeat and then another sound come after it, and you're going back and forth between two different sounds. Work on that, and you'll be able to actually get good flow with these drops. Because right now it just sounds like a lot of basses are just playing at the same time, and there's not really flow between the phrases. So you want to work on that to start making things, you know, a lot cleaner, a lot smoother. And after the low end's fixed, I think you're going to have a nice heavy song on your hands. You're getting the dynamics done. So as long as you combine everything else with these dynamics, I think it's going to be sick, man. Just work on that. You can do it. Hit us up in the Discord if you need help with anything. We got you. Up next, we got A. And A is from, let's see, it's from Blonde. Kind of doo-doo, but it's been fun to make. Blonde with A. Sick. Let's get it. A. Oh, I naturally just said A. A. Saying A naturally. A.
Black jeans, black tee.
shit's clean. Spicy. That is A. And that is from Blonde. If you want to go ahead and see the cover art again, it is this. Cool. Kind of doo-doo, but it's been fun to make. Honestly, it's not that doo-doo. You know, from the doo-doo scale, 1 to 10, only 2 doo-doo. It's really nothing. On the regular 1 to 10 scale, we're pulling in a solid 6.8. But we could get easily to an 8.8. And let me tell you how. So, first off, the vibes at the beginning, sick. The build-up makes sense. You're able to build up these vibes into a cool, like, experimental hybrid trap drop. Use these really cool Reese's. The timing on that vocal, all this sounds really good. You know what I'm saying? And then, where's that tone feel? So, like, it's like a fake out bass to a sick tom fill. This tom fill, by the way, sounds amazing. This tom fill is a perfect fill that leads into the drop, and it's just asking for something heavy to come after it. Like, it's begging for something heavy to come after it, but unfortunately, you did not bring in the super heaviness, because the way it was mixed, the main bass lead sounds really turned down. Like the sub, you can feel, and it's loud, but unfortunately, the main bass lead is just low energy, can't really hear it, can't really feel it, and we're not delivering. Lots of good tensions build up, but we're not delivering with this release. So you want to fix that, start layering that main bass lead, and make that the star of the show, front and center, by using EQ. And then with this fake out, same thing. And this is playing, this is slightly moving, but since this is just playing by itself, you want to start adding a lot of movement. So maybe different filters, different effects, automate different things so that it sounds like it's changing while it's playing. Otherwise, it's just a little bit too static. Or maybe you can add another bass going like quarter note, like doo, 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 or even triplet, doo, doo. Just cool rhythm, cool flow to add energy during that section. Otherwise, not too bad. Dope, man. Dope. Up next, we got, Cycle Circuit, When It Was Over. Let's get it.
Mother told I grew up. My mother raised me, so I have this much respect for women, and
I have this much respect for women.
And
Hey, look at this sample.
I mean, I get a lot of friends, but I get a lot of friends because I have respect for women, ultra respect
Yeah.
for women. But then, like I was liking this girl in
Yeah.
and I'm extra nice,
Bussin'.
extra gentleman. I'm extra just like, oh, you're beautiful and you deserve the best. And she told me I
Boom.
was too nice. It wouldn't work because I was too nice. That was the ultimate stab in the back.
Bum 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 bum. Womp 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 womp. Ooh, that 808 though.
Only time will finally heal.
Even the females know it's bitches. Females don't even hang with females. You know what I'm saying? See, bitches is like boss. She out there handling her business. She ain't saying, why you calling me bitch? She clowning, you know, and that's what you do. That's how you show food. But no nigga gonna fuck with her. If you call yourself a bitch, who can call you a bitch? We gotta start saying, fuck these bitches, man. If you fucking with a cool female, that's all good. But if you fucking with a bitch, you need to break her ass and shake her ass.
Break her ass and shake her ass. Great note to leave it on. Cool. When It Was Over by Cycle Circuit. It's a pretty dope name, honestly. I like that name. It just reminds me of like an evil Circuit City or something, or like a clown Circuit City. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, this song I think is pretty dope. Unfortunately, it's not loud enough. If you saw when it was playing, I had this multiband dynamics on. I could just simply add a multiband dynamics, and this is a multiband compressor. We're making the song louder by splitting the bands. Easily, you can do this and make a huge difference. Your song is about like -12 LUFS during the drop, which is very quiet for like an EDM song. Very, very quiet. If you played this next to another song while you were DJing, the song would sound significantly lower in volume, which would feel like it's lower energy, and it would just not be a good time. So, to have a good time, you want to basically master your song. This song may be unmastered. You may be sending this to a mastering engineer, and if that's the case, bravo. If you have that money. I would only recommend sending it to a mastering engineer once you get like to a professional level, once you have enough money to just like dish out for mastering engineers, like really good ones. Otherwise, I mean, literally, it's 2023, it's about to be, and we have all this amazing, strong technology at our fingertips, so just use it and learn how to use it. It's really easy. You can mix and master yourself. You know, that's the easy part. Arranging and composing a song that's well balanced is the hard part. So don't stress. Add a multiband dynamics. Make all your mids and highs louder. When we add this, everything sounds a lot better, but we don't really have lows. So make sure that you separate all your sub frequencies and your lows, get those really nice and clean to be playing with your loud mid basses and high frequencies. And then your mixing will be good. Then you can go ahead and start to make subtle changes. In the chat, Lolo the Lodian said that he has a nice tip, and basically the melody needs a variation. You're playing the same brass notes, right? Dun, 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 brum, brum, brum. And that's good. And I think about 85% of the notes should be going that way. But if you make slight variations to the notes and, you know, certain sections, it would make a huge difference in keeping the listener engaged and making this overall piece sound even more professional. So I would do that. I think that's a good idea. And also the main the main sample that you're using here, it's like filtered out. Start to bring it in, you know. We don't hear a lot of the high frequencies, so slowly bring in those high frequencies with automation on that filter. That would make a huge difference. Plus, it would add movement. And yeah, control the reverb too. There's a lot of reverb on that. Make sure that the lows are cut. Make sure to control your reverb. It could get a mess. So yeah. Next, we got the Demo 13. And this is from Nemesis. Demo 13. Sick cover art here. This is dope. Let's get it. Ooh. Oh, run it back for the rewind. For the rewind. Hey, hey, hey.
OG Kush from the West Coast.
I respect the win. That's pretty sick, dude. I like this. Good flow. I wanted to keep listening to it. Only things that we need to fix right away would be like loudness levels. It sounds really distorted. It sounds overly distorted. It sounds muddy. Luckily, you have dope flow, dope sound design. So I'm still dancing, right? But technically, it doesn't sound clean. So negative 1.7, you know, that's just too loud. You don't need to get like that. Negative 3 should be your maximum, for real. Once you become like really, 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 really good and start making super, super loud mixes that are past negative 3, just got to be careful because we're literally making music so loud that we're blowing people's eardrums. This is very loud music, so we have to be responsible with the frequencies that we're putting in people's ears. We don't want to just hurt people, literally. So just chill with the volume. I'm not able to turn up the audio interface all the way, unfortunately. But go ahead, add EQs to all the main basses and start cleaning up the mud frequencies. So like from 100 to 400 hertz, right? And then on the basses too, it sounds like they're being compressed a lot. So dial back all the compressors, only use slight compression, and then maybe once in a while throw in some heavy compression on a sound. And, you know, mix more like that because you don't want it to sound too overly compressed. You want to have a balance with your distortion and the space in your stereo image. Otherwise, this is good flow. Love the whiz sample.
OG Kush from the West Coast.
And honestly, if you had a sustain bass going, that shit would be even harder. So incorporate some sustains and you'll be on your way. Sick. Up next, we got Macro with another submission called By Your Side, 140 BPM, D sharp minor, final structure. Well, let's get it. Check out the cover art. Ooh, I love delay closes like that. That was nice. Very nice, complete, full song. Man, I know you've been working on this and this is sounding sick. This is sounding almost done. There's a couple things I think that need to be fixed and then it's ready for final export. But I do gotta say, this second drop is heavy. I think it's much heavier than the first drop and I really like it. Do I think it could benefit from a sustain? Yes. Does it need a sustain? No. Now, the only thing is it gets really, really loud. And like we're pulling negative 1.4 LUFS basically the whole time, which is really loud. But then in certain sections when new basses come in, we're going to like 0.6 LUFS. And I have to start like turning it down. It becomes really loud, it starts to hurt the ears. And really, I would just suggest bringing your basses down slightly in volume to just -2, balance everything out at -2, make sure that you're just rolling at that loudness level, and I think it'd be perfect. The way you mixed it down is really clean, so when we turn it up and get loud gain, it sounds good. It's just a problem of, you know, blowing your ears. But in the build-up, right? So this sounds very oddly mixed. It sounds like the clap is much louder than it sounds empty, and the clap is louder than everything else. So I dial the clap down and really just like to maybe open up some of the. It sounds like something's filtered in the back, or something's like playing not to its fullest. So maybe I would start moving a filter, start adding some more frequencies, or start layering some more sounds to just fill out the spaces here. Because the main thing filling out the space should not be this clap during the build-up. It could be a lot better than that. Even that drum break is really nice. Same thing with the drums here. Clap is just like sounding way louder than everything else. And then final thing is this main bass here. The way the pitch is like bending or automated, or the way the filter is, or it might be a comb filter being moved with the LFO, something, it sounds unnatural. The tones doesn't sound, the tone sounds really off key to everything else. It just doesn't sound like, doesn't sound that clean. But then as soon as we get here, it's super heavy, super heavy. Need more of this. Less of this pitch bendy. I don't even like pitch bendy. It's more like, it sounds like a comb filter or a reverb filter being automated or something like that. So just look into that. Make sure that you're not going too crazy with your tones and the pitch and all the filters. But dude, this is dope. I really love the By Your Side. You heard me sing it, man. This is something I could just keep replaying back and back. So after this is done, it's going to be a banger. A super banger. Okay, so I heard from the higher ups that the previous song we played, Demo 13 by Nemesis, was actually played at the wrong speed. Ableton is a some who holla and auto warped this song because it was really short. So we're going to replay it at its original speed. Let's get it. Demo 13.
OG Kush from the West Coast.
Okay, cool. So honestly, not much of a difference from, because the main tips I was giving is like mixing tips, you know. The same mixing tips I suggested earlier definitely apply. And the sustain, you can actually like start the sustain right here. It's begging for a sustain right here after all this plays without a sustain. So I do that, and you know, that'd be nice. Be nice flow. Otherwise, this is hard. It's heavy at this speed. And lots of dope vibes going on. What do we got up next? We got the Quality Control Work in Progress clip. Who's this from? Polaris. Quality control. Work in progress. Clip. Check out the cover art. Let's go ahead and get down with the get down. Shit. Run it back for one time. Damn, son, where'd you find this? I gotta say, that's pretty thick, man. That's pretty sick, dog. Oh, damn. Alright, so that's Polaris, a quality control work in progress clip, and I must say, we're coming in with some heat here. This is some sick rhythm. It sounds a little bit slower, you know, not as fast as what we usually listen to, but damn, that's hot. One of the main things I like is how clean the mix sounds, right? Unfortunately, it's not loud enough. We're only pulling in like -10 LUFS, so you have to get it louder. You know, you need to make sure, like if you listen to other rhythm songs that have been finished and that are being played at the clubs and the festivals, they're like pulling in -6 LUFS. So you want to at least get around there so that you can match the other songs that you're DJing with. So do that. When you do that, you want to retain this clean mix. The way the sub and the low frequencies are separated from all the other frequencies is good. We can feel the sub. It feels like there's space in the mix. And we have lots of loud fat basses playing as well. And you can see here, visually, you can see there's dynamics from loud to quiet. Good call and response. Different calls, different responses, variations. So that's the stuff that, you know, stuff that we want to see here. So that's really good. I like this. Makes me want to dance. That's the most important part. Just get it louder and finish the song. Whoa, 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 whoa. My camera just went crazy. All right, we good. I think my tripod just died. All right, we good. We chilling. We out here. Maybe I can plug this in actually. 1 second. All right. Got the pluggy. Okay, this should be. We should be. Hey, buddy, how would you know about Shannon Brown? All right, guys. No more technical difficulties. We are back on track. Let's go ahead and get it. All right. Up next, we got Mipsy's submission. That's So Raven. Go ahead and check it right now. Beautiful cover art. Let's get it. Mipsy, what'd you find this? Oh, we gotta run that back, dude. Come on. Mipsy, I must say, you must be having a good day because this feng shui is off the chain. Damn. All right. First off, amazing vibes that you present to us at the beginning. I mean, honestly, I've been studying like music and like the psychology of music and people's attention span. And to get people hooked, you got to just start it right away. And if you see here, Mipsy does a great job of catching the listener in as soon as the song starts and then getting into something that feels good and has energy. It's like cinematic, interesting, cool drums, marimbas playing. Like, this is good. And the whole concept is you makes you want to move, right? It feels good. Like, that's the whole point. You know, you could do it in multiple different ways, but Mipsy does a great job doing it here. We slowly progress, add more sounds, add more vibes. The build-up leads into this sick fake out. It's like a color bass, like heavy bass. It's just cool. Unique, new sounds, going at fast rates. Sub is really clean playing with it. And this use of dynamics here, right? So it's going super, super loud. If it was playing all loud this whole time, it would sound so much different than with this, because like this just adds like flavor and dynamics, and it really makes these two sound separate. So I would learn from this, guys. This is awesome. Mipsy, finish this. You see, I replayed it 3 times because I just wanted to keep playing it. Made me want to dance, made me feel good. This is the type of vibes I like. And of course, it was loud enough and wide enough. So that's what I'm talking about. That's So Raven. Killing the game. Up next, we got Lolo the Master. His name is Lodian. He is God. Lodian with Bro, what's with your names that I've never even heard before? I can barely pronounce. Tragestra. Let's look at the cover art. If he has any. Lolo. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Beautiful. All right. Tragestra. Let's get it. right. That is Lodian with Tragestra. Now, I must say, your melodic vibes are on point. The mixing needs some work, but I'm going to tell you what you need. And I see you guys in the chat talking about reverb, snare, reverb on snares. We'll get into that too. So basically, when we're playing this song, everything sounds really nice, right? Good energy. If you look while this is playing, we're at -9 LUFS. You can tell that like there's a lot going on in these sections, right? There's a lot of instruments being played. This is a section that's supposed to be loud, right? But we're only pulling in -9 LUFS, which is not that loud. You know, that's maybe a house song loud. We kind of want it to balance and get close to how loud the drop is. So maybe get that to like -7, -6 LUFS. Start using compressors to make the intro sound louder, to start blending it in with the upcoming phrase, which is the build up and then the drop. You have really nice, the way the chords are progressing. This is really cool. It sounds empty, you know. Use your vocals, use vocal loops. Whenever you're making build-ups, I always do risers, drums, white noise, and then vocals is a huge element to make and add more tension and energy during the build-up. So add some vocal loops, make sure that it's not cheesy, make sure that it matches what's been playing during the song, and then that will lead more energy to this. First off, that pre-drop needs to be more prominent. It's very low volume. When we get to this, we have nice sounds, everything's cool, but the main like lead, it sounds like it's filtered with an EQ8 and we can't really hear all the high frequencies, which makes it seem like it's like kind of like stuck in a cave and we can't like fully breathe and fully release with all the frequencies. So I would look into that right away, make sure that we can hear all the frequencies fully. Sometimes when you over compress, this issue can arise. So check your compressors as well. Make sure that you're using slight compression with everything. And then when you use light compression on multiple tracks, all that compression will build up and eventually be a lot. All right, so the snare. The snare itself is dry in this section, and only this section. It's dry, layered with a clap that has reverb. This is the idea that we want, but the clap on the reverb tail is too long. It's going like, the clap on the reverb tail is like kind of going so long that it's even going past the next snare. Maybe try to make the tail of the reverb only last until the next snare hits. That would make it flow a lot better to the next snare. You kind of want to dial it in with the decay time. And then the actual dry snare, it just doesn't sound the right tone. It doesn't sound... You may want to, because this snare is so tonal, you may want to tune this snare to the key and use different notes in the scale to see what'll be best. If none of them work, just literally replace the snare and find a new snare. Start layering clap and snare combos. Make your own sound. And you need to make sure this 3 is perfect, because this 3 is what people are headbanging to. And it's not perfect right now. At the end of the song, the snare starts to play again and it's dry with no reverb. It sounds too dry, so I would fix that. Make sure that it's dry and wet throughout the whole song. And then in certain areas, you can remove the reverb to make it only dry for cool creative effect, and then bring back the wet for the majority of the time. Otherwise, man, you're getting a lot better. You're just pumping out music like it's nothing. You're layering a lot and you're starting to get advanced. So just start working on your mixing and mastering. And you're going to be a god in no time. That's Lodian with Tragestra. Up next, we got Tastes Like Purple. Let me go ahead and show you. All right. So up next we have Crouton with Tastes Like Purple. Work in progress, cover art here. Pretty sick. Let's get it.
Pleased to meet you. I recommend skipping.
Hey.
Tasted perfect. Let's use all the color. You're gonna like this. Dizzy. Whoa.
No. Again, Lulu. Oh. Okay, that's Crouton with Tastes Like Purple, work in progress, submission. And I must say, I was not expecting that, and I like it. I'm happy that you submitted this, dude. This is pretty dope. It sounds a lot better than what I usually hear from you, and that makes me happy because that means you're learning and improving, and you know, that's what we all really need to do. So during the drop, you guys can hear like there's a clean mix. Like we can hear our highs, our mids really well. The sub is clean, and then in certain sections we have like only the sub playing too, like there, and going back and forth between the like the dubstep sounds to just sub is really cool. So I like that. Great use of dynamics. One of the main issues though that I find is when we're playing, and eventually when we start getting to these later phrases, it kind of starts to sound a little boring, a little repetitive. If you were to add like a sustain bass in the background to just kind of sustain and hold and add something new, it would, you know, totally transform the song. It would make this phrase sound different. And then all of a sudden you're going back and forth between this phrase to this phrase, back to this phrase, and the whole song starts to make sense. So start experimenting with that. You know, we're combining fast sounding basses with like held out notes, and we're kind of combining different styles of rates. So do that. It's going to help a lot. After you do that, I think this song will sound a lot more professional. This is like almost like a heavy tipper. You know what I'm saying? Cool sounds, experimental. I would add some vocals. The vocal is the best instrument in the world. So do it. Add it. Real quick.
Let's use all the color.
If you look here at the stereo image, most of it's really mono, so I would just start working on parallel processing, adding a wide signal with your mono signal so that you can get an overall a full stereo image. I think it'll be good. Otherwise, I like the lefts. I think you're good at -5. So good job. Good job, Crouton. Up next, we have error code. We'll switch it up. Login. Who submitted login? Interesting. Interesting. Up next is we got error code with switch up version 2. Let's get it. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. We can run it back. Hey. Hey, that is error code with switch up version 2. Now, if we look at the loudness levels here, we're not loud. So we're pulling in like -10 LUFS, which is very quiet. And on top of it being quiet, it sounds very muddy, which are two pretty big issues, unfortunately. You really want to kind of go back all the way and look at your compressors, make sure you're not compressing too much, look at your distortions, make sure you're not distorting too much, and start doing more parallel processing. So you'll be layering your signal with another distorted signal or another wide signal, and you'll make it loud in the process while making it fat and thick as well. Right now, it sounds too muddy. It sounds like everything's squished together and there's not enough space for all these basses to breathe. And on top of that, we can't really fill the sub as much as we need to be. So overall, it sounds low energy because of this, because of the low volume and because of the muddy mix. So you're going to want to fix those things right away. You have some good ideas. I know you can definitely arrange the song well, and you know where to put the tear out guns, but you got to make sure that this is loud and clean. Cool intro though. That's a pretty cool idea too, that random glitch. Sounds like some old school songs about to play. It's cool. Error code with switch up version 2. You got this. You can get it fat. Watch my videos if you need help with that. Hit us up in the Discord if you ever need help with those things. We got you. Up next, we got the song called Login. If who submitted this? If you're in the chat right now, let me know if you submitted this song, Login. I cannot find it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I might be able to actually. Log in. We're on the search. Oh, it's JWubs. Let's go. JWubs. Oh, it's not. Yeah, we got it. Cool. JWubs with Login. Let's get it.
Line has logged in.
as login. Initialize as login.
That is J Wubs with Login. Very nice, very nice. Now, I must say, there are some issues here that we need to fix right away. If you did listen to the song's like first drop, it's a lot different than the second drop. And fortunately, I don't think the first drop is too hard, but I think the second drop has some potential. Like that sound? Pretty dope. Unfortunately, the way it's mixed is it sounds really overly compressed and kind of lost with all the other sounds. If we zoom out, you can see it's bricked, you know. This is a sign of overcompression, and I would definitely get that fixed. In the master, when this is playing, it's really loud at -3, and that's probably what's going on. You know, to get it loud, we compressed a lot, got it to -3, and now it's a little bit too much. So dial back the compression to get it loud with amplitude and gain. Start layering other sounds with it. Start adding multi-band compressors and add clean gain that way. Use more of this type of bass. In this section, it sounds like way too many basses are playing. Sounds heavily distorted, heavily muddy. It's not sounding good. So definitely need to look into how many basses are playing at the same time. Dial some back, clear up some space, and make sure there's some room for everything else to breathe. Also, the mud range is 100 hertz to 400 hertz. You can make small dips there in each track to add some cleanliness, like Mr. Clean. Otherwise, you got some good ideas. You have song arrangement down. Work on the mix. Work on clearing up space, really. I think that's going to help a lot. And then from there, you can start getting creative with all the sound design. Up next, we have Unfinished Thingy by Nate Latte. Let's get it. That is what I like to hear. Sick vibes, sick orchestral horns playing in the background, heavy. And we're like on the verge of a muddy mix and a clean mix. So I would say this is pretty decent because it's really hard to get things this loud and sound clean. So you're really close. You're almost there. Look at your mud frequencies, clean those up a little bit in the horns, you know, so that they can mix well with all the other mid basses that are playing in the drop. And this is rare, but this song needs a fake out. I'm actually going to say it. This needs and is begging for a fake out. So after it starts building up, by the way, the snare, this tear out snare that you're using for the build up, great choice. It sounds really clean. It sounds in tune with the mix, which for some reason is not easy to do. So I applaud you for that. Clean snare. So right here, we go straight. We go straight into the drop. There's not even a pre-drop. So, oh gosh, add a pre-drop, you know, take out a small section right before the drop because that is like the ultimate dynamic trick, right? We're building tension super loud. Right at the pre-drop, we barely hear anything except the vocal. And then boom, we hit them with the loudness again. That crazy intense use of dynamics is the reason why EDM exists. It's the reason why buildups and drops exist. That little tiny pre-drop section is slept on. Don't sleep on it. Don't be a sleeper. Be a waker. Add your pre-drop, and then right after pre-drop, when this starts playing, just don't play any of the drums. No kick, no snare. Only play the mid basses and the sub by itself, and then bring the drums and snares right after. And boy, I'm telling you, the energy will be high, and people are going to start moving their necks, breaking their necks, actually. They'll have to go to the hospital for new neck surgeries. Otherwise, very good. Nice sound design. Clean. I like it. I would dance to it. Just clean up your muddy frequencies and use multi-band compressors to just add some brightness with the mix. You want those high frequencies to sound a little bit higher and more prominent in the mix. Otherwise, make that unfinished thingy a finished thingy. Up next, we got Power Trip. And this is from Empiric with Power Trip. Let's get down. Power Trip. Holy shit, muffins! Oh damn! Relax, man. We're just out here trying to have crumpets and tea, man. Exquisite. That was Power Trip by Empiric. That shit was pretty hefty. I must say, that shit was thick. Okay. Alright. So, there's a lot of good in this, and there's some bad. And the bad, unfortunately, needs to be fixed, but can easily be fixed. So first off, the intros and the build-ups and the energy that leads up to the drop sounds extremely well written and professional and adds a lot of energy and tension that matches with the super fast and energetic drop. How fast the rate is on your basses and like the speed of everything is just so good. That's what I try to teach. You know, if you're making something at 140, 150, you want to make it at that time or even double time. You don't want to write in half time. You want to keep the energy fast. We're writing at a fast BPM. You do really well doing this. Now, when we get to the drop, sound design's on point. Everything's good energy, but it's just too loud. It's really loud and it hurts my ears. And unfortunately, if you play this in the club, you would literally be blowing people's ears. And you don't have to like do that. You can easily add a Fletcher Munson curve to your mid bass group or individual basses to start turning down those ear piercing frequencies and start balancing out the mix. Do -2 LUFS maximum. Dial it in between -3, -2 LUFS for this track, and make sure that you have clean gain, not just lots of gain. We want clean gain. We want to be able to turn this interface all the way up and not blow our eardrums. So work on that, man, and it'll sound literally perfect. It'll be professional. It'll be ready for the festivals, ready for the clubs, and it'll impress everyone that you show it to. Good energy. You know, this is impressive. I like hearing energy. And most importantly, when you slow it down, that's a hard thing to do. Slowing down a track that was really fast doesn't always work. And usually what I hear from people is they slowed it down to like the wrong tempo and the energy just shifts. But the way you did it was really well. It actually sounds harder at the slower speed. And man, I would just leave it as is. Leave that tempo automation as is because it is clean, sounds heavy, and it makes me want to just rage at a festival. So good job, man. That's what I like to hear. Bangers. Let's go. Up next, we got... Hold up. We got a bootleg. Yeah, I don't know if we can play this, boy. Let's go ahead and check right now. Bootlegs are uploaded to Spotify. So bootleg means you like bootlegged a song. You took a song that was already made, basically, and or like remixing it or editing it. But that can get a copyright flag. So we just got to make sure that it's not going to be copyright flag. But look, see right here, it's in Spotify. So if I play this song on YouTube, YouTube's going to be like, yo, this song has been blah, 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 blah. It's been distributed already. It's on the major platform. So if I play it, I'll get copyright strike. You can resubmit a song right now, DM it to me, but I can't play this, unfortunately. Everyone, please remember this. Please do not send bootlegs, remixes, only send work in progress. This is not a self-promo stream. This is a live feedback stream for people who need help. Up next, we got the boss, the overlord, the general, Tang. And Tang has this song called Damnatio Memorai. I hope I said that right. I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. Let's get it. All these song names I can't pronounce. Dude. New flow. We got unimaginable flow. Batang. Oh my gosh. Talk about being spicy. Ooh. Damnatio Memore. Batang. Killing the game. Okay, so this is crazy because this is like new flows I've never heard before. The way the basses are like going back and forth with each other is just so different. You guys can visually see great use of dynamics here. I saw in the chat, perfect snares are a myth. Yo, for real, your snare sounds really clean with this song. It sounds perfectly in tune. And like I was talking about earlier, when you have a snare with a reverb on it, we need to make sure we control that tail like perfectly. And your tail ends right before the next snare hits. So it's like perfect flow from snare to snare. There's not too much space on the reverb. It's like the perfect amount of space. So yeah, it sounds really clean. It fits in the mix very well. And that's what we all need to work on. You know, that 3 is what we headbang to. That's what the groove is all set on. So make sure your 3 is the one to be. Okay, second drop. We're speeding it up. This is really the only area of the song where I suggest that you kind of dial it back. You know, the way you use your dynamics, it's very clean. All the basses make sense in this section. In this, it's more muddy. It seems like there's a lot of basses playing at the same time. So you want to kind of, you know, dial some back, use more dynamic tricks to clear up some space. Otherwise, I like the energy that you're bringing here. It just needs to be rearranged a little bit with the EQs. That's hard. That sustain playing in the background. That shit is fucking heavy. I love it, Tang. I love your style. You have your own style. It's so cool. I don't know how you're making these basses sound like this, but good job, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Got your own style. You're about to kill the game. Keep on killing it, dude. Tang in with another banger. Up next, we got Froggy Rhythm by Froggy Dubs. Joke track on my joke alias. Okay, let's go. Dark Mage's joke track on his joke alias. sound a bit froggy. I got a Sonoran tree toad. Come on, bro. Ah, bro. Whoa, whoa. Oh, that sounds crazy. Frog life. Frogs. Froggy Rhythm by the one and only Froggy Dubs. Froggy, 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 for frog, 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 for frog, for frog. Alright, so this is actually pretty sick. I know this is a joke track, but this is cool. You know, less is more. You probably weren't even thinking too much when you made this, and that's really cool because being able to make something when you're having fun and using your imagination rather than trying to like work on something all hard and trying to focus and like trying to use your brain. Don't even bother, man. Use your brain when you're trying to learn, but when you're trying to make music, have fun and get into that flow state. And if you want to make a song about a frog, you make that song about that frog. So, sub is sounding really clean. Cool little bass lead. This background sound like doo 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 doo. That's adding some crazy vibes. It reminds me of like the SpongeBob SP209 future episode. I don't know, when they're in that weird futuristic world. That's the type of music like they were playing, and that's the type of vibes I'm getting. So that's really cool. Bringing me to a new space. This sound. So cool. The only suggestion is like that sound. That sounds pretty muddy and not too clean. When it's like used here in the fake out, it sounds pretty dope in this section, but when you keep playing it, it just sounds overused and muddy. I would just change that. Otherwise, this is cool. I like this. Keep making joke tracks. I recommend it. Up next, we got TNC with Not a Virus Unreleased. Let's get down with the get down. Nintendo, smoking on that Nintendo, GameCube Nintendo, smoking on that, smoking on that, GameCube Nintendo. fills. The research, exactly. UKF, boy. I like this, man. Pretty dope. Just like Tank said in the chat, reminds him of the Blue Speaker days. He's talking about that UKF. He's talking about that old vibey shit. And it really does. It makes you have that like nostalgic, good feeling. And then we get into the drop and it's like new, modern, heavy dopeness. Now, I do think that in the drop, we could add some things that can help. When we do zoom out, you can see it's pretty bricked, which is a problem. This means that we're using too much compression. We can definitely tell that we're using too much compression because it's very loud. We're at like negative 1.5 LUFS, which is really loud. And the thing is we have clean gain. So when I turn it loud, it's not like ear piercing frequencies. It's clean loudness, but it sounds like not thin, but kind of squished. It sounds like there's too much compression, and we can visually see it right here as well. So I dial back your compressors, make sure you're not overly compressing anything. And then during your main phrases, so basically the main bass lead is going fast, like the whole time, first and second drop. You could really benefit from slowing down the rate on your main bass lead in some sections. After you do that, then all of a sudden you'll be going fast to slow to fast to slow, and that back and forth motion between the rates of your bass will make the drop sound a lot heavier, add more energy, make it more interesting. Like right there, that's when the drop starts. So here you could do slower rate to make it sound different than that long fake out. You just did a really long fake out with it all going fast. So as soon as the drums hit, it doesn't sound like too much of a difference. So to make it sound more of a difference, you change up the rate, and that'd help a lot. The fills though, really cool fills. I like the snares going with the Reese fills, and I think that's awesome. Add a vocal too. Add the 3-6 Mafia GameCube Nintendo vocal, and add that pre-drop as well. I think that shit would be super heavy. But, you know, you could use any vocal that sounds dope, or record yourself. Otherwise, good job. Good submission. It's solid banger. Up next, we have Murder Hamster by Halfway Crooks. Man, let's get it.
cold-blooded, premeditated murder.
Murder. Halfway crooks. You're scared to death, you're scared to look, you shook. Cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you reached a verdict?
And that is Halfway Crooks with Murder Hamster. Now, this is pretty decent. We have some good levels. It's loud enough. If you see here, we're wide enough too. We have some width with our mono. That's cool. We're at -7 LUFS, so it could be, you know, like -6 LUFS. Maybe a little bit louder, but this isn't like heavy dubstep tear out, so it doesn't necessarily have to be that loud. So this is fine. The thing is, though, is the main bass lead, it plays, in my opinion, just too much. It gets pretty boring just hearing the same sound play throughout the whole drop. There's not really call and response. We're not going back and forth between different basses. It's more just like the same bass playing at different rates in different sections. Because of that, it just sounds like repetitive. If you were to have some phrases be like a high pitch, some phrases maybe be a lower octave and a lower pitch, that would make a big difference too. So you can do tips like that just to keep the listener engaged throughout your drop. And don't be scared to add some sustains, some new basses in the back that are holding so that you can lead to the next phrase even easier. And vocals, you know, it's begging for vocals in this section. It sounds pretty empty. Same with here. If you had a vocal, like nice loud vocals, big reverb, professional vocals, it would make a huge difference. So I would work on that, experiment, and have fun. You'll have a banger on your hands in no time. Up next, we got Snasta with Pain. Let's run it.
Those who do not know pain will never understand true peace. I will never forget the pain. This world shall know pain. Almighty push.
Hmm. Oh, there's like mini Yuki up in here. And that is Snasta with Pain. Solid submission. Good job. We got some different type of like old school dubstepy vibes. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, the way it's mixed is in a way where we can't really feel the sub, or the sub is like very low volume, so it feels low energy. Make sure that your sub is loud and prominent in the mix. You kind of want that to be balanced with the loudness of your main bass lead. That main bass lead's pretty loud. Now, we're pulling in about -5.8 left, so this is overall in good loudness levels. You just want to start balancing everything out. This is bass music, so you want to make sure that sub is going to be like really taking over. Clean up the sub, make sure that it's by itself separately. Clean sine wave, you can distort it and then low pass it as much as you want, and to get it to the right fatness or the right loudness level. Do that. And then also the main bass lead is playing, it's the same thing playing out the whole drop. The only thing that's changing, just like the last song, is the rate. The speed of the bass is changing, but you need to do more than just that to keep the listener engaged. You want to start messing with different pitches, so go from higher pitch to lower pitch, and then you want to maybe do some automation with some filters, like a comb filter or a high notch filter, so that it's slowly moving and changing tone while it's playing. That will make it sound like a new bass, and then all of a sudden the whole drop will have multiple different sounds playing rather than just one sound. Think of the sound as what frequencies are playing. We want different frequencies to be playing at different times. After you do that, it'll sound dope. And definitely in these sections where it's like super sub heavy, like Yuki, you got to make sure that the sub is louder. You need to make sure that the clap isn't the loudest thing, because right now the clap is the loudest. And use reverb to then fill out all the missing space, because there's not a lot of sounds playing. It's just sub and like drums. So use like reverb vocals or like very long decay time reverb glitches or whatever to like add dope space. That's what techno does. That's what a lot of dance music does. And that's what you can do here. That's what Yuki does when they make their super sick trap shit. All right. Up next, we got Brewing Face with Break Shit version 1. Where's version 0? Let's go. Oh, that's pretty dope. Let's run it back. Break shit. Break shit. Yo, this is pretty clean, I must say. This is like some bass house, you know what I'm saying? But the way like boom, jump, jump, boom, boom, there's good call and response. Very good. That's what's keeping us dancing. The beat's good, drums sound nice and clean. Sub is nice. This would go in the club. We're loud enough. -9, -8 is usually where I shoot from my house, so that's good. Just work on your stereo image. Too mono. And then after that, you'll be good to go. Last but not least, and final submission, we have Psychedelics with Reality Isn't Real. Let's get it.
Reality. Reality.
Ooh. I like this. That made me feel pretty nice, honestly. Like, I imagine listening to that in like some crazy forest stage, just like hanging onto a tree and just rolling my balls off. It's beautiful. Reality isn't real. And this is a perfect song to show that. The only downfall I think this song has is like the ARP playing in the background. It sounds weird. That ARP in the background, like no. That's the only thing that sounds kind of off compared to everything else. Otherwise, very cinematic intros. The use of like the way the rate is going really fast and then slowing down. You're doing a lot of psychedelic tricks in this, which matches your name perfectly. The mix right here. This is nice. You could benefit from some more high frequencies. You can add a nice crash or ride on every quarter note. You know, think of a drum set. They have all kinds of rides and crashes playing. They do that for a reason. You can start stacking a lot of high frequencies and then start to dial them back down to clean it up and turn them down to then mix and match with your drop. I think it could benefit from that. Otherwise, it sounds really cool. The loudness levels are right, and the width you see here is wide enough. So that's what we want to see. That's what we like to hear. Really, the only thing I'd fix is that ARP in the background. And then in this section, the second drop, there's a lot of different basses playing. You just want to start cleaning it up, make sure everything has space to breathe. Everything should make sense going back and forth with one another and make sense when they're layered on top of each other. So keep that in mind. That sound too during the buildup is it's overpowering. So make sure you mix that in with the buildup, the bubbly riser. Otherwise, great submission, cool, new, unique techniques. I love to hear what you guys really have for me. You guys have been submitting those bangers, and I appreciate you all. Once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More of these videos coming soon. And join the Discord. Hit up the homies. We will help you with everything, and we'll have fun, make friends, enjoy your day. I'm Dripment. Peace out. A-Town. Later.